People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, we've just won 2-0 against Manchester United. In relation to Mikel Arteta and what will be the end result of his tenure or the duration that he is Arsenal manager, whether he can get us back, win trophies is another story. I'm not saying he's going to do these things. I'm not saying he's not going to do these things. I'm saying we cross all these bridges when we get to them. In sense, we need to go back to basics, reset the club based on what he can do on the field and go back to basics and improve like that. So far, he's doing that. Now, we're four or so games in. I don't know the specifics in terms of how long he's had. And this is what I wanted to see that I felt we lacked under Emery. Obviously, the circumstances were different in the sense of we was winning games and they were kind of, and I said it then and you lot said it then as well, it was clouding results. They weren't necessarily a philosophy or that I agreed with or saw. I'm seeing that with Arteta. Again, when he improves and he gets to mould the team in his image, we'll critique and praise fairly. But based on where I think why I really buy into what Arteta is doing so far, for me anyways, is because I see clearly what he wants to do. I believe if you've got a clear philosophy, any coach or whatever, you have half the journey's done sort of thing. He wants to be aggressive, he wants to be tenacious, he wants to be aggressive in how we seek to score goals and how we defend. I'm not going to bore you lot with all the organisation and all the tactics that he wants to install. It's bait what he wants to do. It's clear, and that's very, for me anyways as an Arsenal fan, it's very encouraging to get behind because our squad needs improvement. I'm very positive about the United and Chelsea games, but if I look as unbiased and neutral, there are some things we can evidently improve, but it's so far so good. And this is what I mean by now it's a white and black thing. So far in that you can see, again it's only 4 games, but you can see what Arteta is doing, and then you can say, okay, maybe if Arteta had a centre half, if he had a centre mid, then this, that and the other, which I don't think you could have said under Emery, because these clear things or the spine or the philosophy or the core principles he wanted to move with ain't there. This isn't me trying to bash Emery. Listen, I don't doubt that he wanted to move us forward. It's not even about Emery. My point is, it's just positive to see as an Arsenal fan, because there's less grey areas. I see what he wants to do, so you can quickly see which players can prove you right and wrong, but which players can potentially get cut loose and who is going to leave people. It seems that way. He wants to play attacking football. We're still not all the way there yet, but that's encouraging. There's a greater emphasis on how we defend, both tactically from the front and the back, and for me, more positively, off the bat of this United game, psychologically, we've gone. Just based on this game, we're relishing defending. I want to see this when the away crowds are getting at us when we're playing Sheffield United away and these sides, and these sort of sides. I know we've played Sheffield already, but these sort of teams. But it seemed like we're hungry to defend. Even the players, Mesut Ozil, the players that you don't even have defending, we're hungry. We're making tactical fouls a bit, which we can improve. We're hungry to get back in play. We're moving sensible in all aspects. The players are obviously buying into what he wants to do, whether it's squad, regular, star players that are used sporadically. When they're on the field, you see what they're doing. The spirit is back. I do think this team's always been together and bonded and whatnot, and it's been more of a tight-knit bunch than people give them credit for. But naturally, because of how we've been as a team this season, it's going to be fractured and there's going to be busts up. It's nice to see the camaraderie, the brotherly love. Centre-half scared to let down their partner at centre-half. Full-back scared to be out of position. Strikers scared to not score goals. So everybody's working just that bit harder because they don't, away from the fans, scared to let down the fans, manager and all of this sort of thing. None of them, you could tell today, none of them wanted to go when the lights of the Emirates get shut off and it's all said and done. They don't want to look themselves in the mirror and say, I didn't give everything I could have. And it's about now making that the minimum requirement of things, but it's positive to see this from Arteta, because now I can sit here and say, okay, whether Arteta goes through rough patches and bad patches and these things is another thing, but I can say, okay, cool, you need to bring a man a centre half, you need to bring a man a central mid, because even in the second half of these last 2 games, people, if you look at if you take the United game in the second half and you take the Chelsea game in the second half and you take the 2 45 minutes and you make it 90-minute game of 2 second halves of respective sides, people, you can see the positives that Arteta can bring, but where he needs help. Where he needs help and what will come, I think he needs players with a high... Obviously, I don't know for all this physio stuff, but it seems like we need players that are... I'll use N'Golo Kante. You know how Kante's a Duracell battery. That man there is never going to stop running. We potentially need to source a couple of these players or move in long term with players that are able to play this dynamic way and be able to run up and down and have these energy levels, because it doesn't look like many of the players have it. Now, obviously, similar to Klopp, when he wanted to do that pressing stuff, he had to make some players evolve and develop, and you could see how there would be sometimes they're not able to do it. You see, we're able to do it from the first minute to the 45th, but because of what it requires, we're blowing in the second half, and we're blowing even more. So it's obviously down to our players and Arteta to be able to coach that and be able to do that. Obviously, game management needs to improve, especially just on the whole last season, but we've seen greater improvement. Personally, what I'm liking from Arteta as well, there's greater emphasis. When you see little throw-ins or dead ball situations, Arsenal always switch off from that. There's greater emphasis to quickly surround the opposition and not let them out. These sort of things and the fine margins, as much as I care about the attacking philosophy and all of these things, the devil is in the details, and it seems like Arteta is leaving nothing to chance. In short, it appeared, what I guess I'm positive about is that there's just there seems to be an effort to move into and have an identity as a team that was lacking. You're seeing centre halves bomb forward, and I'll say as well, whether we believe players should be here, shouldn't be here, or good or not, it's nice to see that players have the mental freedom that they believe they can go out there and make a difference. Like Pepe, I do think Pepe's still a bit timid in that. I think he's got the ability, when he sees a fullback like Shaw, for example, I think he roasted him when he can, but I think he needs to be a bit more ferocious. Like, say, go up to Shaw and say, I'm taking you for a ride. I'm going down this flank. You're getting roasted, like this Mo Salah thing. I do think he's a bit nice in that. A bit of it is probably because he's probably not fully confident. I think a fully confident, ready to go, that's worked with Pepe, he's going to be like Sterling and Salah. Once they see them areas, attack it. It's lovely that there's movement as well, generally with the team. But it's just lovely that it's look like we're mentally free now. Like Xhaka, best example, fans and whatnot. He's mentally free to go out there and play his performance and know his manager has the faith in him. So he's going to try 10 times harder. The same can be said for Lacazette, for Pepe, when people questioning their performances and games and whatnot. Might be reaching a bit because no one questions Aubameyang's commitment, but the longer his contract runs out and the longer, we're still having teething issues, and the more we move towards the summer, that's going to be something. Mesut Ozil, people have casted him off, scapegoated him, this, that and the other. They're still going out there and fighting. I saw a fight today from everyone in their positions and whatnot. I saw bravery, and this is what you want to see, people, really and truly. I think we need a central midfielder, just purely talking tactics. I think people can see why you need a couple of strikers in the team or different options, because you see how for the first time I believe Mesut Ozil, Pepe, Laka and Aubameyang all play together. But there's going to be games we're going to need all of them. 2 might not play, 4 might play or whatever. Like today, I personally feel Martinelli, if he was here, he would have come off the bench because he would have given us something new. I say off the bench because he's not fit. I mean, he's had the little knock. I think we need a central midfielder. It's evident because when we need to manage our games and we need that fresh pair of legs, you're looking at the bench, there's not really any composing figures or any real dynamism there. And obviously, the way Torreira and Xhaka are playing, if one of them get injured or whatever, it's a bit peak. Who is going to step up? I know Guendouzi's doing his thing, but he's not exactly in form at the moment. I think we're missing a trick, personally, with a central midfielder. I say the striker because, like you saw, we played our hand with Lacazette and Aubameyang. There's no Martinelli. Tyrese, John Jules weren't on the bench. And obviously in the second half you saw us very deep. That happened against Chelsea because we're defending, everybody's tired, the game is going, the opposition's getting more possession, so we're having to defend and be a bit more compact and rigid, something we did today. But I think now you can see why, I don't know, if Aubameyang didn't start and Laka did, how Aubameyang could have come on and give us some energy levels and stuff. The closest thing we had to that was Nelson for Pepe, and Nelson, I'm not criticising him, but he didn't have the best of games. So I do think games like this, or in general, show why football is a squad game, and it's not always by force starting everybody, or not always a drama if one person doesn't play. But in short, man, I feel it's decent, man. I feel the team, I won't say we're in better shape because these comments feel a bit more, very reactionary and a bit too soon and that. But I feel we're in safe hands with Arteta. Whether he's a success or not is a different thing. I'm not proclaiming him as the Messiah. I'm just simply saying he's showing me something to get behind and believe in and giving me confidence, because Emre, beyond just him being the new manager and the Arsenal man and me wanting him to do well, when it got down to the nitty and gritty and what he was trying to implement, it weren't there from the start for me, and I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans, in fact for everyone, it began to deteriorate, began to question and whatnot. And that could happen under Arteta, but I'm just saying it's nice to see he started being strong in his principles, because it appears to me he's learning from the failures of previous management, because Emery, I don't know what he would say, but if I was him, I potentially feel the one lesson I've learned is I didn't really have conviction in my all my ideas, or I potentially tried a bit too much. It seems like Arteta has one core philosophy, obviously change things and tweak, but one core way of doing things, and it's looks like it's going to put him in good stead. But on that note, people, DG, I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking.